New York City mapped 30 immigrant neighbourhoods for World Cup visitors. Little Palestine made the list, Little Haiti, Little Pakistan, Little Odessa. Little Italy did not. 4 million Italians built this city. Now the mayor's office is being asked one question. How do you tell the story of immigrant New York while leaving out the people who arrived first? New York's immigrant story is at the center of a fresh political storm. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is under mounting criticism after Little Italy was omitted from an official immigrant neighborhood map being promoted as part of the city's tourism campaign for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The map, titled New York City Immigrant Enclaves, highlights 30 neighborhoods across the 5 boroughs, encouraging visitors to explore immigrant communities ranging from Chinatown and Koreatown to Little Palestine, Little Haiti, Little Pakistan, and Little Odessa. However, the map does not identify Little Italy, nor does it include notable Irish or Jewish neighborhoods. The map was originally created by the New York City Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs in 2023 and is now being promoted through the city's NYC Neighborhood Passport campaign ahead of next year's World Cup. The omission has drawn sharp criticism from the Italian-American Civil Rights League, which accused the Mamdani administration of sidelining one of New York's best-known immigrant communities.
Mamdani's City Hall can find room for every fashionable, progressive constituency, but somehow it cannot find Little Italy. Our culture is good enough for their photo ops, our food is good enough for their fundraisers, and our neighborhoods are good enough for tourism dollars. But when it comes time to recognize Italian Americans, they erase us. Little Italy is sacred ground. It is where Italian immigrants came with nothing, worked like hell, opened shops, raised families, built churches, fed the city, and helped make New York what it is.
The organization also criticized the mayor on social media, writing that Italian Americans built New York City and accusing the administration of attempting to erase their contribution to the city's history. The backlash quickly spread to City Hall. Members of the New York City Council's Italian Caucus also condemned the omission, arguing that Little Italy remains one of the city's most historically significant immigrant neighborhoods and should have been included alongside other communities featured on the map.
You cannot tell the story of immigrant New York while airbrushing out one of the city's most recognizable and historically significant immigrant communities. The omission is incomplete at best and insulting at worst. We urge the administration to work with historians and community organizations so that future versions properly recognize the Italian-American communities that helped shape New York City.
According to the Library of Congress, more than 4 million Italians immigrated to the United States between the 1880s and 1924, with roughly 1/3 settling in New York City, making Italians the city's largest immigrant community during the early 20th century. Neither the mayor's office nor the Office of Immigrant Affairs has publicly indicated whether the immigrant neighborhood map will be revised following the criticism. The dispute comes as New York prepares to welcome millions of visitors for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with city officials promoting neighborhood tourism as a key part of the tournament experience. New York's air conditioners are staying right where they are, whatever City Hall says. Mayor Zohran Mamdani's appeal to residents, urging them to set thermostats to a warmer 78 degrees during the city's worst heat wave since 2012, has landed with a thud.
Beginning tomorrow, New York City will enter a heat emergency that will last through the 4th of July weekend. Temperatures will climb into the high 90s and triple digits. With humidity, it will feel even hotter, with a heat index that could peak around 112 degrees. And to every business owner, please set your thermostats to 78 degrees to alleviate the stress on our power grid. Every worker in New York City has the right to a safe workplace, and that includes safety in extreme heat.
Instead of compliance, the city has responded with ridicule, refusal, and a wave of online mockery.
NYC Mayor Zohran Mamdani asks that you please set your AC to 78 degrees amidst today's life-threatening eastern US heat wave, where temperatures could surge to 110 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit.
The backlash has centred on one word: hypocrisy. Furious residents pointed to the towering, ultra-bright digital billboards of Times Square, still blazing at full power, while ordinary households are being asked to sweat through triple-digit heat indoors. For many, the optics summed up a request that felt disconnected from the reality of life in a city where the real field temperature has pushed past 104 degrees. Con Edison, the utility behind the appeal, has tried to diffuse the criticism, explaining that New York's power grid runs on isolated neighbourhood networks. Diverting electricity from Times Square, the company says, would not actually ease the load on residential areas at all. The explanation has done little to quiet the anger. Mamdani's request was framed as a matter of necessity rather than comfort. Con Edison had warned that a spike in air conditioner use between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. risked triggering serious outages across the grid. In response, the mayor pledged that government buildings would follow the same guidance, while the city rolled out 600 public cooling centres, mobile medical units, and a temporary pause on tenant evictions. None of it has softened public resistance. Social media has turned the thermostat request into a running joke, with residents mocking the idea of surviving a historic heatwave a few degrees warmer than they are used to.
Comicrat NYC Mayor Zohran Mamdani is trying to force everyone in the Big Apple to cap their air conditioning units to 78 degrees. In response, the world is laughing at him.
Behind the memes, though, advocates for the elderly have raised a more serious concern. Many low-income senior citizens already avoid running their air conditioners at all, wary of the cost. A push toward a higher standard temperature, they warn, could leave the most vulnerable exposed to real heat stroke danger, not just discomfort. The irony is that 25.5 degrees is hardly a radical figure. It matches energy-saving benchmarks used by authorities in many countries around the world. But delivered in the middle of a punishing heatwave, the number has become less a practical tip and more a symbol of a mayor asking for sacrifice that residents say they should not have to make alone. For now, New York's answer to City Hall is unambiguous, and it is not written in degrees.